Hi guys, welcome back to Bunny's Designs. This is part 2. Don't you just love the internet? Yeah, sorry guys, I nearly had to swap tops then. I think it's the internet. The only thing I can think is, it's my. So what I thought I'd do, we've got mythomorphia, we've got 2 dragons, so we've got very similar, bright, vibrant colours. So what I thought I would do is do a comparison. I could have used these dry, really. I'll find the dry ones. Just bear with me a second. Hi, Toffee. We don't have an Alfie in here, but we do have Toffee. Toffee is in because she likes to be peaceful. She's getting old now, bless her. I just have to pop some of these a second. Top 10. Oh, sorry, guys, I got that stuck. So let's see if we can zoom in a bit. Let's see what that does. Nothing. So the controls don't work then. No, the controls don't work. Don't you just love technology? Never mind. I've got the anti-what's it off. I don't think they've dried in any particular place for me to use them. I'm going to put them on the computer and see if I can use them where they've dried a bit. If I do any more than that, they're going to be all over the floor. I'll put them on the laptop. Hi, Melody. Welcome back. So I think I'm going to use the number 1 Derwent water brush. I suppose the other thing we could do is we could make a wash with them. Well, we could make a wash. What do you think, guys? We could make a wash, or we could just use them dry. I've never used them wet, so I suppose we could try to use them a bit wetter, couldn't we? I'm not sure how it would work. Let's find a pipette. Let's see if we can get them. Pair of scissors, never handy when you want them. Oh yes, they are. Right, let's have a go with this then. I've never done this before, guys, so let's just, if it doesn't work, we've not lost anything. So we had about, I would think there's 2 ways to do this. You can even dunk it in. You see the colours coming out straight away. And somebody used to do that. So we'll cut a corner off and we'll dunk it. So we'll just put 4 drops in each one. So I'm going to put that in the box so I know what colours where. So I'm going to cut the same amount off in each one. I shouldn't really be on a slant for this. I hope we can see that, guys. Can we see? Hi, Pamela. Welcome back to Bunny's Designs. That's why I was a bit loath before. 1, 2, 3, 4 to buy a new camera, because it's the internet. Sky promised me it would be good, and it not. So it's the internet. So Sky are not my favorite people, and there's what they said, 2, 3. There's nothing wrong with the equipment, so they won't do anything about it, because technically there's nothing wrong with the equipment. The fact that the line is bad, they're saying it's nothing to do with them, but they promised they could do better. But of course that was just tails. I don't know if you can see this color swishing out. I don't know why my camera will not. Oh, my fingers don't work anymore. Come on, silly thing. You want to go in there? Thank you. I don't know if you can see, not even swishing it round. And I'm trying to put the same amount of liquid in. Never done this before. I've seen it done. I don't think I've ever done it before. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I've done is I've laid them out, because I'll forget. I've laid them out in the colours that they were. See if we can just bring a bit more light onto that. Are we better with that, guys, or that? Oh, welcome back, Pamela. It's the internet. I'm pretty sure it's the internet. So I don't know if you can see, because now I've taken the autofocus off. Can you see all that colour swooshing out of there without me even stirring them? That's how strong they are. So what we were trying to do is to get them the same strength. Look at that, just all that colour coming up. And some are stronger than others, I would think. So and it's the paper that's coated. So we'll just see how, for comparison, probably needed a little bit more, because the Hydrus are pure strength, where this is watered down, but still we'll just have a play. And then we can also test our colour theory to see if the colours were the right ones as well. So I think the best way to do that is just to use a clean, damp brush, dunk in water, twist and pull back to a point, and then we'll have a bit of a test. Just leave those for a couple more minutes. I think that blue one is a little bit pale, so I'm going to cut a little bit more from that one. Like all pigments and dyes, some will be stronger than others, and obviously this is one of them. So I'm just going to gently tease the paper to one side, the little triangle, cleaning, because I'm going from dark to light, so I'm cleaning the little brush end every time first to make sure. whether that would work. We might need a little bit more, but we'll just have a give that one to soak a bit more. Oh dear. Let me have a look. Thank you, Pamela. Just have a look. Is that better? If that's better. Yeah, I'd hate. That's why I was really reluctant to buy. Hubby kept saying, "I'll get you one." I went, "No, don't get one because it's the internet." And you know that I think they were £90 was the camera, so it's a lot of money to waste when you can't use it again. But we'll have a look. So they're going to look completely different because these are a lot stronger. I think, to be fair, I need to put more in. To be fair, really, otherwise it wouldn't be a good comparison. I mean, bearing in mind how much I've used, these are little tiny triangles, but there still looks to be some beautiful colors in there. I'm going to cut another corner off each one. Apart from that blue one, I'm going to do... Oh dear, it went in the wrong one. No, come out quick. Come out quick. Oh, you silly sausage. You see how strong they are? Oh, it's just going to be one of those days today. Don't say anything. It's fine. Right. There we go. A corner in there. And a corner in there. Because I wondered if you could get them the same strength, because as I say, the Hydrus are very, very strong. These are very strong if you just touch a little bit. It's just, I'm being a tight Yorkshire lass, you see, so that's not always good. But there's a big price difference. The only thing that kills the Peerless if you're in the UK is the postage. But because I would really love the I would dearly love the bottles, but it's just impossible because they're glass. And although I think he did actually email me to say that he would do me little ounce ones, but of course, being a greedy girl, I didn't want the ounce ones. I wanted the glass ones that I'd seen on the internet. So I'm just going to dunk these again, guys. Oh, hi, Darla. Welcome back. Do we think that's okay? Because I put autofocus back on because while the internet went down, I managed to click on the one that I downloaded earlier. So I managed to actually get that to sort. So we're just giving these a bit of a dunk. Of course, the darker colors are coming through. And again, I did put maybe a little bit too much water in there, but and I did watch this a long time ago. I can't remember now. It was quite a while ago that I watched somebody do this. But of course, these are washes. Now, I would think they're too strong for a wash now. They'd be quite strong now. You see, there's still colour coming out of both of them. So I might just leave them in the bottom to kind of soak. One thing I will say is last week when I used the printer inks, to my surprise, this little plastic palette came, when I just washed it in the sink without anything else at all, came very, very, very clean. And the only bit was the bit that I wiped in the middle. So actually the print ink did actually wash off. So I was quite surprised. So welcome back, guys. Thank you. Welcome to part 2. Is that as clear as it was before? Because I've put autofocus back on. And where you could zoom in a bit, it's not wanting to. It's not letting me do it. Now these controls were like the other one we had on there. So I'm not sure why. I'll try a bit more light and see how we do with that. The only the other thing I can do, and do you know what I haven't done? The only thing I was a bit disappointed, and I don't know where the other camera is. I put the other camera somewhere. You don't have the little flap that you have on the top, so you this is security little flap. So when I want to, if I drop the camera, just bear with me. Now it might be a bit thingy, guys. I'm sorry. I normally put that little flap, but you don't get it on that camera. So if I can, let's see if I can. No, that's not going to work. That's nearer, guys, isn't it? We're a bit nearer. So just bear with me a second. I have to take. That's going to be a bit. Sorry, guys. Take that drawer out, and now I need something to. Hold on there. That may do it. That may just do it. Hopefully. I say I haven't got any control, so I'm not brilliantly happy about that at the minute. I'm sure that will get better. And then I'll just put the other. I lost that light there. That's probably a little. It is duller, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't expect it to, but it did. It did come clean. I think if I go anywhere again, I'm going to get half a dozen of these, and then I can mark on the back in marker what they are. So once these peerless have dried, and the Hydrus have dried, then, as I say, you can use them in the dry form. I do have the Hydrus, so this is a Hydrus. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I think I showed it earlier. Now I've got some dry bits around the edge. I've actually put it on the laptop to hopefully dry it out, because I love the Hydrus when they're wet. But if we want these, let's have a look in this one. I'll just put that. We want that to stay wet, and we want the other one to dry. If we want, this is the Hydrus. Now this is using it wet. Are we all in there? Just so you can see the colors are woo, in your face, beautiful, vibrant colors, and I love them. I absolutely love these colors. Let's see if I can get you to focus. Now, when the little man held it up, it focused straight away. So we want you to focus and behave yourself, because you're a new camera and you should behave yourself, but you're not going to do. So that's using them when you first get them out, which is beautiful, fantastic. We love them. I mean, look at those beautiful. That's the phthalo green and the phthalo blue. Now my colors are out a little bit. Let's see if we can play a bit with the color. Just move that to one side. I just need now this I've downloaded now. These controls I'm using now. are like the old C30 ones, the C930, where you've got your plus, your minus, and your brightness, color, intensity, and white balance. When I was watching on YouTube, when you downloaded the new one, which is obviously my fault, because I was really worried about spending this £90 because I was worried it wouldn't work. And of course, it's the internet, and I was worried about that because you can't fix. I've got a £500 camera there. I can't use it because it won't. The internet keeps dropping, and that's what I was really worried about. So that was why I kept saying to Nigel, "No, you have to take it back, take it back, take it back." Sorry, guys. Headache makes me talk real rubbish more than normal. So this way here, and again, it's not coming out now. I played with the color. We've got some beautiful greens, turquoisey greens. I might just press that and restore it to original. Right. But you can see a little bit. Right, we'll get rid of that now. Oh, thank you, darling. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. So this is the Hydrus. Now that is a phthalo green and a beautiful phthalo greens. And there is a video on this, so you'll see them in the colours. This is using them straight from the bottle. And that was a bit of a shock for me because I wanted my beautiful watercolour effects. This isn't the Hydrus, this is professional watercolours. They're the Winsor & Newton. But this is Derwent watercolour pencil, and this is Derwent Inktense pencil. And that was touching the colour on the paper palettes in my little book of watercolours, and then manipulating them. So we start in the middle with full colour and go out to pale. Get some more colour, start in the middle and go out and get pale. It works. This is what I invented. This is watercolouring. And it was before the chameleon pens, but to explain it, the chameleon pens work the opposite. They have colour and the liquid takes it out. So you've got colour here and solution there. We're doing the opposite. We've got colour there and the solution here. So we're diluting, that's getting stronger, but it's almost like in reverse. But it kind of explains it the same way. You use the brush in the same way. So you pick up colour and you do this. And that's why I invented watercolouring for two reasons. The first one was, you can do this for 12 hours. You can touch and go for 12 hours, and all the bounce, all the touching is in this soft brush. And it doesn't matter if it's a water brush or if it's a brush. All the bounce, all the pressure of this touching the page is all here, and there's no pressure. When you've got a pencil and you touch, you've got connection here, solid, and that goes in your fingers, in your joints, and in your wrist. This, it doesn't. When you touch, there's nothing, because all the friction of that touching and scribbling is in the brush tip. And the other one is that I wanted to have watercolor effects on a normal page. So most color books are not watercolor. Some are, but most of them aren't. And I wanted this lovely, delicate. Now, I'm not bothered if it did crinkle, but these are dead flat. And the technique is used for Bible journaling. So if you can Bible journal and watercolor on a Bible page, you can do it in a color book. Now, it took me a long time to get this technique right. And I also obviously wasn't sure about the colors and what would happen. So I photocopied a page. So if this is going to be a favorite page, oh, I love it, but I'm not sure how to do it, photocopy it, get yourself a #1 Derwent brush, and you want some dry pigment. So if you have the Hydrus, let them dry. You can use the Derwent pencils, but you need to use them from a paper palette, because if you touch them from the end of the pencil, it's too strong and you get the full color. We don't want that. We want color on the end so that we can have a lovely rich dark color and manipulate it to be lighter. Does that make sense, guys? Did that make sense? So you can do that with a paper palette made from any water-soluble pencil or crayon, but we also have our Peerless. I've also put my Hydrus, and I'll do that again actually because I love these colors, and I did want to try to put them in my daughter has contact lenses, and I did put these colors on a thing in contact lenses and they disintegrated. But if you could have something like a contact lens is the perfect size to put a couple of drops of these, and also make hundreds of other colors by putting 2 or 3 drops of one to the other. So even though I've only got one set, oh sorry guys, head, I can make like lots of greens, so you know about the colors and things, but I intend to put those in my little book as well. So but I think I might make that a video rather than a live stream, because of course it's quite boring once you've seen it once. So going back to this technique, so this technique is watercoloring, getting a watercolor effect with no crinkle on an ordinary, fairly ordinary color book page. The paper is ordinary, it's not watercolor paper. So that's a watercolor effect. Now you can do that with the Hydrus. Again, you're just touching a pinprick, a pinhead, no bigger than a pinhead type of little, you see it when I use the other colors because they are so strong. And if you use the liquid, you're not going to have a watercolor effect because these are so strong and you get more than a pinprick, because of course as soon as liquid touches liquid, you get tons. So you'll get beautiful vibrant colors, but you won't get the watercolor effect unless you use the Hydrus dry. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Now probably the easiest thing to do is to put 1 drop, but I was just trying to mix, so of course I wanted 4 drops of one and 3 of another and 2 half and half, and of how many other denominations you want. What I might do at the end, if my headache just clears a little bit, is I'll do the clear the children's pound shop palette, and that's got, did I say 50 little wells, and I'll mix lots of colors in that, because of course that would be brilliant because it's thin and you can put it straight in here, only when they're dry. So if you want this effect, this has to be dried. If you want the vibrant, beautiful, strong colors here, and also when they're wet, you can mix them together. So instead of having a watercolor effect, but you're having a 2-tone effect or a 3-tone. So I start with green and I tap with green one way, and then I tap the phthalo green one way. They say there is a video, and then I tapped phthalo blue coming back. So one got lighter and one got dark, but then we didn't get the paleness, like obviously nearly white, but we got a blend. You can't actually see the colors. I wish you could see the real colors in here. But there's some beautiful, it goes from green, that's green, to blue. Now I will play with the colors for next week. That's what I was trying to explain on the internet. This little man when you went into the, I've obviously pressed the wrong button, you've got lots and lots of contrast colors and things. There was about 30, maybe, no, sorry, not 30, but maybe 10 different settings for each thing, whereas on the other one you've only got one. So so you can control your color better on your Logitech. So just because I've made a boo-boo with the Logitech C922, it will do it. It's just I literally plugged it in and turned it on this morning. So we can get vibrant colors, but again, flat, really vibrant colors, almost like a marker pen, but don't go through. Don't even show through. And that's very strong color. So again, I love the fact that you can go from very dark and very strong and very vivid to beautiful soft watercolors. Now I can't remember which it is, but if you look on the up on the top, if you look on the playlist and you scroll down, now there's nearly 800 videos I think now, so apologies, you will find Hydrus. You may also find mythomorphia using Hydrus, but you will find Hydrus in mythomorphia. I tried to overlap them. Now, since August, I haven't done that. None of my long videos, and because when YouTube, we live Ustream, none of mine are actually in there at the moment. But I'm hoping to rejiggle it and do it better, but not really functioning very well. Very quickly, this looks like Neocolor 2's. It's a crayon. And I've done this before, and it works in the same way. We've got very strong color, but we haven't used a lot, so we can get a watercolor effect. And it's the same principle. Again, I played about with the different mediums. So this one, if you see, if it focuses, come on, behave yourself and behave yourself. I turn that one off. If you see this one, come on, behave. Now you're flat. There is a strip of green in the middle of that leaf. So what I can do is take my either a rigger, or I love my #1 Derwent brush. And this is this scratch and go. So you can do this for somebody else, or do it for your kids, give them a water brush, and they can sit on the poshest sofa and they're not going to make a mess. Or you can do it for somebody in a care home, somebody in hospital. Scratch the colour in, the whole book if you want, and give them the book as a present. And then what they do is they take this. So if they go back to the leaf, if I go to here, and I actually can do this. I'm just going to hold the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. See, let's just play with our new tripod. Sorry guys, a bit wobbly. So we're on the new Logitech tripod, and we are I'm trying not to make everybody sick. There we go. So I didn't think this tripod would be any good, but let me see if I can put it on that there and tighten it up. And now we need to look here. I've never done this before. So where's our green leaf gone? It's there. So let's see if we can get really near to it now. Sorry guys. Mouse plant. Right, so we're actually, where's the pumpkin? There's the leaf. And I've got a bit of a shadow, but I want to show you how it works. And so I've got a clean brush, squirt a bit of water out. just twist it back on a wipe. So what we've got is a strip of green Neocolor 2. Now it will work with Derwent watercolor pencils. It works with Inktense pencils. Any good quality water-based pencil or crayon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, activate it, and then manipulate it. Now I'm going to have to clean and bring this down. I know it's going to damage the thing, but you can see what I'm doing. So you see that dot? I've wasted a dot. But what it does is now I go back and I pick up some more color and I take that and I have another dot. Clean the. It's a very simple process. I'm going to leave that there so you can see. It's not too wet. So again, touch the color, manipulate it up there, get rid of it. Touch the color, get rid of it. And the reason is, I'll show you in a second. So this one, sorry about the shadow, but I'll show you in a second. And again, you could do this on the beach, whereas you don't want to take your neos on the beach. You can do it by the pool. All you've got is your little water brush and your color book. So you've got no crayons, no pencils, just. So if you can see, I've got a watercolor effect. Don't keep doing that in and out. It's annoying. So I've got a watercolor effect. And that's because I've cleaned the brush every time to make sure that when I go in, I'm only picking up a bit of color, because this is like a paper palette, and the more you keep picking up, the stronger the color. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter, but you'll see me clean the brush where it does. And that's how to do this. And this is the same principle as using the Peerless, is you are picking up a pinprick of color and manipulating it with a damp brush. So by the time you get to the end, you have a beautiful, beautiful watercolor effect. Did that make sense, guys? I hope that makes sense. And again, I can't shut my little shutter off, so I don't want to make anybody sick. Just bear with me a second. I've now got to get that back up there, haven't I? So I think it was like this, wasn't it? And loosen that. So I'm quite impressed with the I'm quite impressed. Oh, sorry guys, it's going to be a bit wobbly because there's right, there we go. Tighten that one back up and then pop that back in there. I've got my two Midoris hanging on the end of holding it down, so it's precarious. Right, there we are. So I hope that made sense, guys. So the same principle works, but the only difference is the strength of the pigment on the end of the brush. So if you want a watercolor effect, that's why when I use that effect on the Bible pages, I only use the Derwent watercolor pencils, because they are just so delicate. And I know that when I touch the page, it's not going to go through. Now, obviously, our pages here are stronger. Right, so let's have a look what's happened. We seem to have got some nice color. I've just realized that the boy is downstairs on his own. So we'll just have a bit of a jiggle. And I'm going to use the old cloth for this rather than the new one. So just start here. Now, really, you should clean the brush, but seeing as now they look quite strong. They look quite strong to those. So we'll have a bit of a play. I'm going to use the others first. I still think they're not quite as strong. And again, it wouldn't be fair because I would think they're almost identical. So this one, we've got some, they're not flames, they're, oh, that could be a flame. It's more like water though, isn't it? Because of course I want to use the same colors. Now that looks like water and that looks like flame. So I may have to do flames and water, and I'll do the mountain, the watercolor colors, which is the greens. Now I do love the phthalo blues and phthalo greens, but I'm using the same colors. So let's just have another quick comparison to think that we've got we're not too far out. We've got the same green, a couple of blues, the purple, reds, orange, yellow, and bright yellow. So we're not too far out. If anybody's got any, if anybody wants to ask a question, pop them in caps down and then I read. Thank you. So just going to do this really quickly. So has anybody else the Peerless or the Hydrus? Right. So I better actually put in the book which are which, and I don't think I've got a pencil. I think I'll be able to tell. So I'm going to put those on that side there. So I think I'm going to use the number 1 brush. So again, I'm going to use the bright yellow. Just bear with me a second. I think hubby's coming up. Oh, hubby's just brought me a nice cup of tea. So what I normally do with these, and I'm rather boring, I do them all the same, have yellow and orange and reds for the flames. So if I do that the same, so I start with the coolish yellow, but actually I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start with this. So let's have a look and see. And I don't know if that's me or... Right, damp brush, twist it. And that's going to be a little bit wetter. That's very pale, is that? So that's not working really. So that'd be lovely for a wash. So I've got the wash, but I don't want the wash. I want stronger. I want stronger. So I need to rethink. But again, you know, I've got the best of both worlds. I've got one for one and I've got one for the other, but I'm trying to get them to be the same. Unless I water the other one down, I possibly could do that. Do I have another one of these? I had 3. I had 3, didn't I? I think it would be only the paler colours that are. Because I only put 2 in there, didn't I? So that's that one. I'll just give it a bit more oomph. It seems to have got a bit of green on that, so I don't really want the green on that one. So these would be lovely for a wash on a watercolor page. So you'd mix your colors, and what you would probably do is put a yellow with the blue to make a sky for sky. I think it's probably the best way to explain. What you would do. I want to try and make this as fair as possible. And again, as I say, it's because they are obviously different. One's dry and one's not. But I wanted to show that you can make these wet. So that's the yellow. You see, that's a lot brighter, is that one? And then we then have the orange. And I would think that the reds, I had to put, so the red I normally use like the cadmium ready one rather than that one. So this is a lot wetter than I normally work, but I'm not using the water brush, I'm using a brush. So we want red. I normally do purple, don't I? Do I have a red head? I may just do red and green, but I kind of like a little bit of purple on my dragon. So that's not the strongest of reds. It's just and there's no watercolor effect at all. It's strong color because again, that's because this is a brush. It's not a watercolor brush. So a damp brush picking up wet watercolor is going to absorb quite a lot. Oh, we're very blurry, are we? Oh my goodness me, why are we blurry? Right, I've got auto focus on. So I'm going to turn it off. Hopefully that is that any better. So what I've done is I've done it myself. I cannot believe it's blurry. It's just so it must be the internet then. So it just must be the internet. Oh, I can't believe I've wasted all that money. I think I'm going to have to give up, guys. Wish I'd given up last week, not wasted that money, because I can't take it back now. But it's an automatic focus. I'll just do the head of this one and then I'll call it a day, guys. So I need to be I need to work as thin as I did before because it wouldn't be fair. So damp brush, pick up a little bit of colour. If I so you can get the same effect. Obviously, they're slightly different colours. Is it still blurry, guys? Has it not got any better? See, it looks all right on mine. And I've got auto focus. It seems to be every single week. To clean that brush, it's not behaving itself. give it a bit of a clean because I don't know why it's just not behaving itself. That's better. I only used it with the Neocolor 2 on it, so I don't know why it's misbehaving, but there we go. So that's wet with wet. Now what we could do is do dry with dry. Is that no better, guys? Or is it come back, or is it worse? Is that no better? I wonder if the internet's gone again. Because it was a new camera, I thought, well, I don't need to check it, so I didn't look on my phone.
Hi. Before I got solar panels, I wasted hundreds of pounds.
It's not good. I can't understand why. Oh my goodness, it's awful. Right, I'll give up, guys. Yeah, I can't understand why. I just can't understand why. Well, I had the autofocus turned off. I've just turned it back on because I couldn't turn it off in part 1. Is that no better? I wonder if it's the angle. It doesn't like being not straight. It's no better. It seems to be just the white then, isn't it? It's just the white. It doesn't like white. Maybe we're back to that again, are we? It's not that it's not in focus, it's pixelated. That's the problem, it's pixelated. Let me take the anti-flicker off because I used to hate that. See, I just cannot control this. It won't let me do anything.